Um, Man, this is kind of becoming a little more normal. The Mondays are a little bit more unusual just because you don't usually just have one day to prepare. So it's not that much different, other than we don't have a day off here between our weekend game and our next weekday game. But guys are excited about the next opportunity.
What kind of reaction have you got from the end of the game the other day? It's an ejection, but I've seen a lot of fans, the broadcast, kind of praised you for how you handled that and everything.
I haven't really paid much attention to it, to be honest. As also part of my February uh, fasting, I also give up social media. So I've heard a lot about it, but I haven't necessarily seen anything or talked to anybody about it. Been more focused on just trying to move forward and get our guys ready for another great road challenge in Big 12 play.
Were you contacted by the commissioner, Curtis Shaw?
I had a conversation with Curtis. I did not talk to the commissioner, and look forward to moving forward about it and getting ready for a really good K-State team.
Is that your first ejection ever in your life, career?
Yeah, life. I don't think was ever ejected as a player. I don't think. Man, as a coach for sure. I usually try to be pretty mild mannered, but at that point, I thought it was important for our players to know that I'm gonna, have their back stand up for them when I feel like it's necessary, and I certainly thought it was necessary the other day.
I know you said on the post-game interview that you don't believe in moral victories, but that was a heck of a performance by your guys against the #1 team in the country. How's their attitudes and demeanor moving forward?
They've been good. They've helped me. I hate losing, but every day when you show up and your kids have good attitudes and they're chomping at the bit to learn and get better, it helps allow me as a coach to let go of the emotion of the disappointment and losing a game and really get back to focusing on just trying to do my job. My job as a teacher, my job as a coach is to help these kids get better every day, and that's who our focus is.
What went into the decision to go and shake everyone's hand for Baylor, even though your day was over early?
Yeah, I mean, it's the right thing to do. I hope my actions didn't take away from what was a really good college basketball game. In my opinion, it's a 4-point game with a minute to go or so. And, we shoot a layup that gets waved off, or otherwise it's a 2-point game, and you're right there. Again, I know people who don't necessarily watch look at the final score and look at our record and say, man, that coach is really an idiot. I mean, he's got a team who's got one win in Big 12 play, and they lose by 8 points, and he gets ejected, and everybody thinks it's the official's fault. Well, if you watch the game, I mean, that's not how it played out. With all that being said, our focus really is on how do we get better. There's a lot of season left. I mean, I keep saying that, and obviously it's less and less as the weeks go by. But with 8 games in league play remaining, we still have an opportunity to finish the season on a really positive note. And I want to make sure I give these guys the best I can. And doing that, my job is to also be an example to them. And even though in an ejection, it was important that the Baylor players and staff know that they played a good game. Congratulations on what has been a really, really good season for them. And unless we play them again, which could happen in a conference tournament, I wish them all the success they can have moving forward.
It feels late in the year to be playing a conference team for the first time. Just kind of what do you know about K-State?
They have an established identity as a program. Bruce is in probably his 8th year, something like that, maybe somewhere close. And they know who they are. They pride themselves in being really good defensively. I mean, you can really look at any splits of their season, a home, road, last 5 conference games, non-conference wins, losses. Their defensive numbers are all pretty consistent. It's been, like everybody else, there's been games that they've struggled offensively, but we know we're going to have to do a really good job in executing to be able to score against them. And that they got an all-conference type player in Xavier Sneed, who we got to contend with, and several other guys who have had success in their short careers. It's a pretty young team over there.
How has Bruce helped Isaac? I know that they have a close relationship.
I just think a lot of times what kids need to know is people believe in them. And it's a great example to me of, I'm sure Isaac never thought about playing for USA Basketball when he first came to college, and to have the opportunity and then to go play well and have somebody who's coached in a national championship game look him in the eye and say, I believe in you and you can go help us win a gold medal. And then for that to play itself out the way it did is something I'm sure that helped his confidence, and maybe something that he reflects back on, maybe when he's struggling a little bit, that I can do this. And I know that a proven veteran coach believed in me, and I've been able to have success, and that keeps him working hard and humble at the same time.
Is there anything that he's taken back from this summer that he's like, okay, Bruce did it this way, or anything like that?
I don't know if I could speak for him in that regard. I haven't noticed anything from a technical standpoint, I would say. I do think that experience, being on a stage where he was obviously being acknowledged as one of the best players in our country at his age, and being able to help a team of guys win a gold medal for our country, was something that helped boost his belief and his ability to lead, and not necessarily have to be the most talented guy, but understanding that there are key parts of a team that everybody can fill. And he filled a need for a fairly young team. I mean, there's, I guess, 5 or 6 high school kids, and a couple who were coming into college, and he was one of the more experienced guys, I should say. Not necessarily older, they're all about the same age, but I think that just helped him understand how a team can be constructed and how he can help.
What did you think of his play down the stretch? I mean, there was a couple times he had some big time drives down low.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a process for him to get back. I mean, I tried to warn him more than anybody that, on December 29th when he was able to come back, that it wasn't going to be like it was on November 29th when he played in our 7th game early in the year. But naturally, as a competitor, he wants it to happen as fast as possible. I think what we're seeing is just the process finalizing itself, and he's getting back to being in shape. I asked him 3 times in Saturday's game if he needed to come out, because I'm still conscious of how he's feeling physically and if he's totally 100%. And it was the first time so far this year that he hasn't asked, yeah, I need a quick blow, give me for a minute. He played 38 minutes on Wednesday here against TCU, I believe, and then 36 on Saturday. That's the type of competitive stamina that he's capable of having for us.
How's Lindy doing? I know he played with the mask the other day and seemed to do pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's doing better. Again, I hate to speak for injuries just because I don't have an expertise in that area. He practiced yesterday. I expect him at this point to practice today, and if they play, it's because they're capable and ready to help us as much as they can at this point in the season. So I don't expect anything different between now and tomorrow even.
Has he shared with you about just the feel of the mask, how he's, maneuvering about it or anything?
I try not to make a big deal out of things like that because I don't want to create a stigma in their minds. I mean, sometimes kids don't think about something unless someone says something about it. So I just let him go play, man. In fact, and I thought he was going to play Wednesday, to be perfectly honest with you guys. I think in our pregame deal, I talked about him being a starter. And I actually had him come out. I always have guys who I think maybe in a weird place, not necessarily bad, but confused state or whatever it is, to shoot free throws for our team to run. Sometimes it's Trey Reeves, sometimes it's sometimes it's, different guys. So I knew in his mind, if I asked him to shoot free throws, then he would probably think that I would expect him to be ready to play. And he shot him confidently. And again, it was just me trying to tell him, hey, whenever you're ready, we're gonna put you out there. And he was ready Saturday and played and gave us some good minutes.
What's it mean to you to be on in the Final Four team this coming Saturday?
Man, there's certain things that you get to do in this business that even for me, I have a hard time still accepting that I'm leading this program. I believe in my ability to do the job, but the history of this program is great. I mean, there are very few teams as good as the team in '95 was right here, and so to be able to honor those guys for achieving almost the ultimate success you can have as a player in college basketball is truly great. I've met a lot of those guys already, but to be able to tell them thanks and to show our players, this is where the bar is, for our program and where we hope to get it back to. Hopefully, gives us an opportunity to continue to build what we're trying to build through this process. We'll keep trying to take it step by step, and then again always reflect back on this is what's possible here, and the message we can continue to tell to recruits moving forward.
You've talked about it a little bit before, but big countries, backboard, shattering dunk. Is that what stands out to you about that team?
Yeah. It's actually my first ever experience of Oklahoma State basketball. I mean, I grew up watching the Big East and somewhat ACC, but mostly the Big East. It was really good when I was growing up. And so I didn't really pay attention to basketball outside of the Northeast region that much. But when the TV broadcast shows, because Final Four is a big deal, that somebody broke the backboard. It's an unusual thing to happen. I mean, I think I remember Shaq doing it a couple times, and I hear Big Country did it. And I'm like, if somebody's gonna break the backboard, it'd be somebody named Big Country. And so that was pretty cool. But that was my first. It's my first remembrance of Oklahoma State basketball, and it's something that I'm honored to have met him, to have been able to coach his son and be around him. They got a terrific family, and I'm glad he'll be here to get the honor and respect that they all deserve.
With the foul trouble you guys faced Saturday, he got his first minutes in a while. Just kind of how do you think he responded to that?
Thought he did well. It's been an up and down year as it is for most freshmen, but he's getting better. I think he played with some confidence. He was slow reacting a little bit, but part of it is when you don't know that you're going to play, it's hard to know what you're going to be expected to do when you get out there. And it's the first time I've ever been involved in a game where 4 players fouled out. But Yor had 3 in the first half. I think Cam had 2, and maybe Jonathan had 2, and maybe Caleb had 2. Heck, I think everybody had 2 fouls except for me. And then I got my 2 late. So, but it's just what you do. You got to figure out a way to manage the game, and I thought he handled it well.
Chris and Avery, what are their status?
I haven't heard anything on Chris, so I don't expect anything different. He hasn't practiced. He didn't practice yesterday. I don't think he'll practice today. Avery's getting better. Just a matter of pain tolerance and how good he feels, more mentally than physically, because everybody has aches and pains this time of year physically. So it's just a process of him understanding that, if he's good mentally, then he's going to have to fight a little bit physically to get himself back out there and continue to help us. In the meantime, I think D. Mitchell's done a tremendous job for us in his role in taking care of basketball when we have had to take ice out of the game for the couple minutes we've had to in the last 2 games.